Alright, shh, here it comes, here it comes. Look at him. Look at that mess. I know. Disgusting. Leaving poop stains on the ground. Walking around like it's nobody's business. You can smell him from here. Wipe your bum. Makes me sick. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Like a Boss. It's been a little while, but I'm happy to bring this series back to you guys. I'm going to be trying to do this on a regular basis. Hopefully, I find plenty of things to talk about. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Infestors. Now, realize that when we do these Like a Boss episodes, we're taking a look at specific aspects of units, not necessarily the unit as a whole. So we're not going to be looking at the entire use of an Infestor, but we're going to be looking at one specific use. Now, what I want to take a look at is expansion harassing. That's going to be the focus of this Like a Boss. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, so when you first get your Infestor, you've got two primary methods of harassment. You're going to have your Infested Terran and your fungal growth. Now, what you're going to see most people do when it comes to expansion harassing is they're going to bring their Infestors on over, and they're going to unburrow them and drop a fungal growth. Now, this is a very strong and effective way at being able to harass an expansion. The fungal growths obviously do tremendous amounts of damage, and you can drop those workers very, very quick. Now, a huge problem with this, though, is that in doing this, you are open to attack. Obviously, you can reburrow, but all they really need is an observer, and they're going to be able to snipe you out. And the amount of time, even just being unburrowed, to drop that first fungal growth is a moment of vulnerability. You're exposed at that point. Alright, so the next question is going to be, well, how can I do that without being exposed? How can I harass an expansion without being exposed? Well, the other option is, of course, you could bring your Infestors over and do the Infested Terran ability. And most players are just going to be doing click, 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 T, click, T, click, T, click, T, click, dropping them one at a time. But all of this time is, again, going to leave you open to attack. And this is kind of the dangerous situation. You can try to pull away, but you're going to get spotted on your way out if he has an observer, and you're going to be losing your Infestors. Alright, so by now you're wondering, okay, Force, well, what can I do to quickly harass the expansion and still keep my Infestors nice and protected? These are obviously very expensive units. It's nothing that you want to lose quickly. Well, as we saw, you can use that Infested Terran ability while burrowed, but if you're going click T, click T, click T, click, it's only dropping them one at a time, and that leaves you there longer, and as such, it leaves your Infestors in danger and exposed longer. Well, what you can do is by using that shift command, you can actually drop all of your Infestors in one fell swoop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my Infestors to a location, hold down shift, click T, and then just click in a bunch of spots. And what's going to happen is as soon as the Infestors reach their location, look at that, they dropped all of the Infested Terrans at once. That's a huge difference than dropping them just one at a time by clicking on the ground. And that way you can drop all of your Infested Terrans, you can harass the line, and you can leave very, very quickly. So let's just take a look at that in action. So what's going to happen is I'm going to bring my Infestors over, and while they're burrowed, I'm going to be holding down shift, clicking T, and the second they get that location, they're going to drop all of these right away. I can leave, they can harass the line, and then once that line harass is over, what you're going to want to do, and this is a big advantage over just using fungal growths, is just straight up target fire that Nexus, and even if reinforcements come, if you keep your guys target fired on the Nexus, you're going to do tremendous amounts of damage, and look at that there, the Infested Terrans do manage to drop it, even though reinforcements made their way on out. So you kill off a lot of the workers, you kill the Nexus, and you get your Infestors safely back home. Alright, so just take one last look at those three methods of harass. You can, of course, burrow your Infestors, head them over, and drop fungal growths. Now, the issue with this is that you're going to be exposed while dropping the fungal growths. He'll have time to respond and to see what's going on. And that puts your Infestors in danger, and if he has an observer with him, he's going to actually be able to kill them off. Alright, so the next method of harass is going to be, again, burrowing your Infestors and dropping Infested Terrans. But if you do the normal Terran, Infested Terran click, Infested Terran click, it's going to take quite some time to drop all your Infested Terrans, and again, it's going to put you in a situation where your opponent's going to have time to respond, and he won't be able to do nearly as much damage. So you can see over here, with the amount of time it took to click those down, he had ample time to respond and actually bring over reinforcements to take care of those guys. Alright, the last form of harassment, my personal favorite, is to have your Infestors burrowed, head them on over, hold down shift, click T, and then click a bunch of spots, and again, the second they get to that location, they're going to dump down all of their Infested Terrans. You can send your Infestors back home, and by the time these guys pop, you're going to be able to kill off a bunch of workers, turn to target fire down the Nexus, and a lot of times by the time reinforcements get there, you'll have already done the damage, and that's definitely a big, big plus over, again, just dropping that fungal growth. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Like a Boss. Hopefully we have taught you how to better use your infestors. I definitely think this is a really effective method. Using that shift command and dropping all of your infestors at one time can definitely be something that is quite effective. Now realize again, this is just going to be for harassment. This isn't going to be used in combat scenarios as much. It's not nearly as effective. But in terms of harassing, this can be a great way to take out expansions. So thank you guys again so much. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.